Hello and thank you for tuning in. On today's video, I'm back at this secret test track at an undisclosed location to test the Kingsong S18. This thing's pretty awesome. You could see it's covered in black duct tape. That's actually intentional. It's covering half-inch thick neoprene foam. So if I wreck, it's somewhat protected. This is 2 inches of neoprene foam. So I wanted everything to be squishy, so in the event I wrecked, I don't want to have anything too rigid, because I've seen videos of these wreck in horrific ways and blown apart like a NASCAR at 200 miles an hour. And I don't want that on nobody. These are way too expensive for that. I do need to do something with this guy here, because it'll disconnect from here and swing out of the way. As you can tell, I've lost my rear mud flap. Kingsong might be sending me one. If you're not Kingsong and you've seen this video, please do. I stepped up, paid cash for this, and I'm a little disappointed in the durability of your mud flap. It made it a whole lot of 15 seconds. The first time I went down backwards, it ripped out the eyelets, and I was pretty shocked that they did it that way, but I'm sure they have their reasons. But yeah, so the mud flaps suck. But on today's ride, we're going to make sure we have our suspension on. I get a lot of people asking me questions about this. When it's set to this way, it makes it to where the suspension doesn't want to compress so much, and it makes it easier to handle and easier for newer riders. Because when the suspension compresses down, it becomes more dynamic, and there's more to control. So with somebody that's skilled, they can make more with it. But as a new rider, if you're able to handle the terrain and it's not going to tear up your machine, I suggest leave it to the high settings, so it's stiffer, it's easier to control, and as you get better you can switch it. But I've noticed, like on hard surfaces, it handles better if I have this switched to here. But off-road, you're definitely going to want it here because of the bumps, because you don't want to explode the shock or damage the other components in the wheel by pushing against a ultra rigid shock. But here we go, guys. So as you can see, this place is pretty big. It's all dirt. It just rained, so we don't have dust to worry about, and it's pretty tacky, pretty good conditions for traction. You can see it's kind of plugging up the wheel a little bit, but it's not so bad. So here we go, guys. Suspension's on, so it's soft. It's a little harder to handle, but super amazing. And when you go downhill and uphill, it's comparable to riding on an escalator. If you're just standing there on an escalator plate, it's comparable to that. And look at this. I'm able to have a full conversation while I do this. Riding this unicycle is probably as easy as a person can move off-road. I don't know how much more stressful it will be on a scooter or a bicycle or a skateboard, but this thing's pretty dope. Does everything I want it to do. Look at what I just went over. Just went all through that. And now, for the highlight of this video, I'm going to try to climb that boy. So, leave your comments below. Let me know if you think I'm going to make it. I'm going to give you guys a minute to make your comments. Okay, your time's up. It wasn't a minute, but that's as long as you get. I don't have patience for this. It's getting dark. So I'm going to go down this guy here. Okay, going down this. Getting a little hairy. Okay, I call that a 1 foot step twister. Would have got video of it, but it looked like I was falling off with style. Maybe I was, but I'm just going to say that I didn't eat dirt, so it's a good time. The safety margins on these are tight, so you have to maintain your center of gravity when you're using these. If you fall too far forward, you fall off or cause the wheel to Oh, look at that, it did it. Or you cause the wheel to cut out if you're leaning too far forward, or it creates stability issues with the wheel because if you're leaning too far forward, you're taking the directional weight off the wheel because you're going too far forward, and then you wind up losing traction. So really important to maintain your center of gravity, and just use your toe pressure to make you go forward. Helps with traction. Always keep your knees bent, and always prepared for this thing to wash out or cut off on you. But it's pretty damn reliable, but it's not without its flaws. I notice if I go up these hills really slow, it's kind of clanky. It's doesn't feel very smooth when you're going up this. It's kind of like a roller coaster. It goes clunk, 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 clunk as it climbs the hill. I guess it's because of the design of the motor. So whenever you go up hills, I recommend a little bit of speed. Inertia goes a long way when you're going up hills. But yeah, if you look how tall this is amazing. And this S18 has climbed this with no problem, and it just went up and down all of those. So if anyone's looking to get one of these, they're not a scam, it's not a gimmick. I recommend picking one up at your nearest store so you don't have to deal with shipping, because if they keep the price at $2,100 out the door, that's what I paid up at Kites in San Francisco, then I want to be instantly gratified. I want my $2,000 fancy e-bike now. I don't want to have to wait weeks and months for it to show up and potentially have problems, and then have to go through the hoops to go through getting parts mailed to you versus actually having a brick and mortar store to go to. And it's nice to support local business, so if you can, definitely buy local. It's good for your local economy. And if you go into Kites, tell everybody Cliff says hi. They might remember me. I was a guy showing up with a little white dog to buy one of these, and they looked at me like I was crazy, but they didn't know I did months and months of homework to make sure I was making a wise purchase and I was getting exactly what I want in the color I want. I'm not a flashy guy. That's why I chose the black model, and that's why I went with black tape and all that. I'm not into the light. Some people are, some people aren't. I'm not. I like a blacked out look with gold highlights. It reminds me of like a Honda. But yeah, so there's other models out there with other crazy lights on it, and more power to the people that want to have them. It's safe to have more lights, makes you more visible, and when you're more visible, people can see you and have more time to react, so that's always good. But yeah, I completely recommend this device for anybody that is going to do any bit of off-roading, or if you want to have it in your vehicle to travel with, or want to take out on the weekends or every day after work or to work or whatever. This thing does really well in commuting. It does well on-road, off-road, and it's been pretty reliable. The only times I've had issues is leaning too far forward before I had the pads and I fell off the front of it, and then one other time I was putting too much pressure on the front plates as I was going up, and the wheel was beeping at me and I didn't know what was going on, and then it put itself in neutral, and that was pretty bad, but I stepped off of it. But that's all red or error, really. Machine was giving me the warnings. I just didn't know what the hell the beeps meant. The one thing I'd definitely like to see on the next model of one of these is a display built onto it, so you don't have to use your phone to connect to it to see what's going on with the wheel, because it's so frustrating. I don't know the battery state. They say you can look at the rear taillights and it's supposed to give you an indication or something, but I don't know how it works. But it'd be pretty awesome if it had a really bitchin' high resolution, screen that gives you all that information. Other companies do that. The beeps are a little weird. The pedal shaking and lifting is really weird too, but I guess that's what the manufacturers of these wanted to do for their safeties, but they have to have safety, so I guess I get it. But I think a display would be pretty awesome, so you just have more awareness of what's going on with the wheel and its state, its temperature and battery state, and miles remaining, stuff like that, your speed. That'd be kind of cool. Maybe built-in GPS or something. That'd be super cool. But yeah, So if you're looking to get one of these, please do. And as always, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And thank you for watching my video.